I've worked all of my life very hard every day, um, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. It didn't matter. And I get home and work, of course, everything you do when you get home. And so I I have arsenic poison. I had arsenic poisoning. I don't have it now, but I had arsenic poisoning. And it's something you don't hear about. And no, my wife didn't do it.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, she didn't do it. I got this from work. We were working in some byproduct ponds, and over time, over 6 years, it built a system. So, I the way that you get arsenic poisoning, other than eating it, was you inhale it, which I did, and it's taken up through your skin. And I was running a piece of equipment and did not know anything about this. I started getting sick in 2021, probably end of February, 1st of March, and didn't know why. So I started going to the doctor, and they ran tests on every organ, and they thought I had a gut bug. Okay, yeah, I'm from the South. People don't know what a gut bug is. Okay, so that's a bug in your intestines, and that's what they thought it was. And they ran every test on me and could not find anything. And so I just kept working and kept working through it. And it got to where the point of I was getting dehydrated. And so I'd have to have fluids one time a week started, and then it was multiple times a week. And we didn't know why from that dehydration. So then I was working one day and it nailed me the next. And so I could not walk. I was in a bed from that point forward. So they still didn't know what was wrong with me. I spent 28 days in the hospital, and they finally did a heavy metals test on me and found the arsenic, and that's what it was. So the human body has a 0 that you want to be to 23 in your blood system. So I was from 23 is the highest in a human body that you want. Well, mine was 404. So over 17 times the amount of arsenic in my blood system that you're supposed to have. So I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a miracle, and thankful for that. And I will start by saying God has been good to me. I don't know why He has, but He's been good to me. And many blessings have came my way because of this. So from the hospital, it got to where the point I couldn't move. I could talk. I had a stroke in the hospital when I was there. It didn't affect me, but for about one day. But I did have a stroke, and it slowed my right side down a little bit. But then they give me a chelation drug, and for 21 days, and got the arsenic out of my system. And that's the only way you can get it out, because otherwise it just builds up and builds up and builds up. Well, from that point, I went to a rehab facility and my wife tells me, you have to tell them it's a physical rehab facility. It's not, they'll think it's a drug rehab facility. I'm like, yeah, honey, no, they know, she said, well, make it clear. Okay. Yeah. So I went to West Tennessee rehab facility, and they were really great. When I got there, I could hold my head up and I could shrug my shoulders, and that's all I could do. And so they were very great to me. I mean, they were fantastic. Everyone there, the nurses, the doctors, the physical therapists, the occupational therapists were very good. And they treated me like I was a stroke victim, spinal cord victim, because I had all of this plus a lot. And they really didn't know what to do, because they'd never seen an arsenic victim ever. So what it did, it makes your hands draw. So my hands were like this. Well, now this one is pretty good. It's probably 70%. And this one is probably, I would say this one not 70. But this one is it's doing good. My left hand's doing good, and my right hand I can still use it, and I can feed myself now, and I can do almost everything now. I'm even driving now. That for the last 2 weeks I've been driving. So
Brett, so you had all these horrible things happen. Then you got home and you basically couldn't walk or drive or anything, right? And then let's start from there. Then at 3 weeks you got on the patch.
Yeah. So when I got home, I started therapy I got home early November, and my friend Beth Ann said, "Look."
His babysitter.
Yeah, my babysitter. I don't tell that story, but she does. Okay, so no, I'm kidding. But no, she said, I have a friend that Norma said, you need to try these patches. And Beth Ann said, I'm not going to do it until I know what they do for me, because I got somebody in mind, and that was me. And so a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Beth Ann came to my house. She said, look, I want you to try this patch. I said, okay. She said, it promotes muscle and nerve growth. Well, she was telling me about it. And when she said muscle and nerve growth, well, that's what the arsenic did, is strip my nerves. And I was starting over from zero muscle like a baby. And I'm like, I'm in. Put one on me. So I just kind of leaned over like this. And I said, put one on me. So she did. So I wore it 3 to 4 days and got to feeling better. And I'm like, there may be something to this. So I continued to wear it. And then I've been on it 7 days and got on the lawnmower and mowed my yard. And then so I've been on it.
Brett, let's pause there for a second. So you have muscles like a baby. You can't walk. You use a wheelchair. Your energy is like what you shared with me earlier. Your energy was about 10%. You're on the patches for a week, and you get on the lawnmower and mow your lawn?
Yes. My energy level, the big thing that I see about this, my energy level went from 10% to 90%. So, and my wife had to help me on I have some plastic legs that I wear to give me some return in my feet, because I don't have anything below my knee, no muscle below my knee. And so she helped me get on the lawnmower, and I could drive it. And she said, these are miracle patches. That's what my wife says. These are miracle patches. She told Beth Ann that. And the big thing is I had energy to try stuff. I had energy to want to do things, because I would go to therapy for an hour a day and come back home and be spent. I wouldn't want to do anything. But since I've been wearing the X39, and that's all I had worn at that time, the X39, my energy level went through the roof.
And Brett, how did you used to get to rehab, and how do you get to rehab now?
So I used to have a service that would come and pick me up in a van, and I would roll into the van in my wheelchair. And my daddy-in-law, my father-in-law, would come and pick me up, and I have a carrier on my back of my truck to carry my wheelchair, and he'd come get me in rehab. So I had been on the patches 7 days, and I told the lady that stays with me, I said, I'm driving to therapy today. And she said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I said, I didn't ask anybody. I'm driving to therapy today. So I didn't even tell my wife till I got to therapy. So I got in the truck, and I did not take my wheelchair. I walked out with my walker and got in the truck and drove to therapy. So I've been driving for 3 weeks now.
She sent me a video of it, and I started crying.
Yeah. So hey, look, nobody could believe it. I couldn't believe it, but I was like, having driven a vehicle since August, and it all just came back to me because I had the energy to do something other than go home and sit and watch TV. And that's all I had the energy to do before this. But now, today, I'll just tell you, I've been on it 3 weeks. I drove to Memphis, which was an hour away, a little over an hour away. Got my wife's oil changed in her vehicle, drove back, and got to my house. And my wife said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Beth Ann.